If you play War Thunderground and understand how to use copy and paste, then I have good news for you. There is in fact a free and easy method you can use to give yourself a blanket advantage over your opponents. As you probably figured out from the thumbnail, the method in question is custom sites. Quick disclaimer though, this only works on PC, for now. Sorry console players, PC Master Race wins again. Anyways, in this video, I'll explain how and why some of these sites give you an advantage, how to install them, and lastly a few examples that I like to use personally. Simply put, the default sites suck. This vertical bar here serves absolutely no purpose. These horizontal bars don't really need to connect to the center here, and worst of all, especially at top tier, the dashes on the distance marks can be difficult to distinguish when using high velocity shells. In contrast, these custom sites can not only help clear up your site picture, but even provide additional functionality like range finding. I'll get to that towards the end of the video. But before we get into that, let's start with how to install these sites. First go to live.warthunder.com, then go to the tab that says sites. You'll probably notice much of the content here can be charitably described as artistic, rather than functional. You can use the search function to browse for other options, but for now, I'll just use this weeb shit as an example. Click on it and hit download. Unlike most hentai websites, this will not give you a virus. Now that you have your site downloaded, go into the hangar and select the tank you want to use a custom site on. Go to options, common battle settings, and open up the pull down menu that says use alternative site grid. Then, click on the option that says add a grid site. This will create a folder that you can put your new site into. Next, go into the War Thunder file folder and look for the folder marked user sites. Click on it, and in it, you'll find the new folder you just created. You can simply copy and paste the file from your download folder into here. Then right click the file and hit extract all. Now that that's done, restart your game. Once you do, go back into the same drop down menu from earlier, and in it, you'll find the new site. Side note, there is also a folder called all tanks, which as the name implies, means that sites in this folder can be selected by any vehicle without needing to create its own folder. Now that you know how to install these sites, let's go over 3 that I enjoy using. I'll leave links for all of these in the description. Also, just a note that this isn't meant to be exhaustive or definitive. If you have suggestions you think I should check out, let me know in the comments. The first and most basic is Wojtek 885's enhanced tank site. This is the site I keep in my all tanks folder, which I always use instead of the default. It has a much clearer and easier to read site picture, and the green color offers a high contrast to the background. I like to use it mostly on low tier vehicles which I'm trying to spade, but it can be used effectively on pretty much any vehicle at any battle rating. My next site of choice is the one I use for all vehicles which have APF SDS and laser rangefinders. This is Frontwind's FW6 site. Quick shout out to this creator by the way, he has a lot of extremely innovative sites that you should check out. While it may just be personal preference, I find the open rectangle in the center to be better for rapid target acquisition than the traditional circle found on most similar sites. I also find it to be less obstructive. There are a number of different styles of similar MBT sites for you to try out on your own, if you want to experiment though. Lastly, I'll get into the most complex, but probably the biggest game changer of any custom site I've tried. I usually use this for any mid-tier vehicle that doesn't have a laser rangefinder. This is ASIN 127's Luch Lite, which is less of a site and more of an analog fire control system. I'll mention that this author has 2 other sites with similar functionality, but I'll just be looking at this one for now. What this site allows you to do is manually range find using the sighting distance control. Simply adjust until the target fits within the box and fire. If time is sensitive and you don't have time to try and figure out range, here is what I do. If the box is too small for the target, put the spot you want to aim between the tip of this arrow and the dot. If the box is too large, put the spot you want to aim at and the area underneath the arrow. I usually keep this set to around 400 or 500 meters depending on the vehicle, since this will be your average engagement distance. Quick caveat though, this site does have some restrictions. This site does not automatically adjust to account for different shell types. So if you take several different kinds into battle, which have different velocities, you can only have this work properly for one of them. You also will have to adjust some of your settings to allow the site to work correctly. I'll show these here on screen. One other cool thing about this site that also applies to sighting distance control in general. If you're using default sights and you find yourself firing on an incline, note how if you fire with the ranging line placed on the target, the shot will miss unless you manually compensate for the tilt by placing the crosshair on the proper spot above the target. By using sighting distance control though, this will be compensated for automatically, and all I need to do is place the center of the sight where I want to aim. This is another reason that I find this site to be highly useful. One note about custom sights before we wrap up. Sometimes if you start up War Thunder after your computer has been off, you may find that the custom sights are gone when you first load into the game. If that happens, simply exit from the game and restart. If this doesn't work, go into one of user site folders, cut one of the sites, and paste it back into the same spot. I find that this will almost always fix the problem. That's all for this video. For more War Thunder tips, click the link on screen, and if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe for more, or leave feedback in the comments below. Thank you.